In everything that happens to you or happen to somebody, there is a lesson to learn from the whole experience.
A white man with some documents in his hand, and when I opened the documents, I now saw that Gabriel was now trying to gain guardianship over my father so that he can send him back to Nigeria.
Now they step in, resuscitate him, take him back to US. So this girl, Ifunaya, respects, you try. You are a true daughter of your father.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News Gist and Blog. This particular story of Ifunaya have caused a lot of misreaction and controversies all over the social media space. I felt the need to share it amongst my fans or those that believe in my platform to get a certain information. For those of you that have watched the videos, that have listened to the whole story, please save your data. Don't call it old news because there are people that might not know how the whole story ended. There are some that don't even have a clue of the whole story or about the whole issue at all. Maybe this is the first time they are hearing it. So please, if you know about the story, save your data and wait for other posts we are going to share in this platform. Now, this lady, Ifunaya, according to the information we have gathered so far, I wouldn't want to narrate the full story because I came across this particular video of this lady who drew my attention to do a research about the whole story. So she have done a lot of exegesis to the whole news, and I want you guys to watch it. We'll be right back, and there's a reason I'm showing you this news.
Are you guys following Ifunaya's story? She's sharing the story of how her dad went to Nigeria after retirement and he used to communicate with them, but after a while, they stopped hearing from him. So this lady decided to go to Nigeria, and what he discovered shocked her. Like it was a spiritual, physical, psychological warfare. So before I start this story, I want you guys to go to our page. I'm going to tag a handle. It's a long read. But if you're not patient, let me summarize it for you. If you're thinking of relocating to Nigeria after retirement, or you are planning to go back to Nigeria to settle, I'm not trying to discourage you, but you need to watch this story. You need to listen to this story. And you need to understand that the people you left back home are not the same people you will meet when you eventually decide to relocate. So yes, this lady said that her dad worked for a long time in New York. I think she said New York, and decided to relocate back to Nigeria. Prior to that, he used to visit home. He already built a mansion, a big mansion. I'm going to post that house, a beautiful house. So this man decided that he wanted to retire. He was done with the American life and wanted to go back home. You know, he had worked here, served the country, and then it was time for him to go relax. Mind you, his social security and retirement was about 5,000 ground. You know, that's big. So that was enough to sustain whatever lifestyle he chooses back home. So this man wanted to go settle at home. So he went to Nigeria, and this girl, Ifunaya, is like his favorite daughter. They are very close. So they used to communicate. The man, she would check up on him, you know, and everybody was in communication with him. All of a sudden, she discovered that her dad was not really communicating as much, and then it finally stopped. She said she was busy with school, you know, American lifestyle and all of that. So for a while, she noticed that she wasn't hearing from me, but she was busy with life. Then she's a prayerful girl, and then she saw a vision or something that her dad was in danger, that she needed to go home to go look for him. So this lady hopped on the plane and decided to go to Nigeria. She got to Lagos, spent some time, and then traveled to the east to look for her dad. When she got to her dad's house, in front of that mansion, the same mansion that I said they built, I'm going to put what she found here. There was a heap of sand, heap of sand, like a lot of sand in front of the gate, like somebody had intentionally covered the whole front with sand. It was so tall, so there was no way anybody could enter the house. She said, "What is happening? This is where dad is supposed to be. What would have caused this?" So she decided to climb to look into the compound to see what's up. As she was peeping into the compound, she saw her uncle and her aunt. And these people, oh my God, they dealt with her. They physically assaulted her, called her all sorts of names, said she was a whore, she was this, she was that, you know. And then as she was screaming and saying, "Uncle, it's me, Ifunaya, I want to see my dad." You know, the whole villagers heard, and then people were beginning to gather inside their house. People said, "Ah, come on, Let her go and see her father. What is happening? Is there a problem? Then this auntie said, your dad is not here. Your dad is in Abuja. Ha. What is he doing in Abuja? Said he went to be with another brother of theirs, Uncle Christopher. This auntie put a call through, and the Christopher said, yes, your dad is here with me, but I can't really talk to you. He's busy right now. He can't really talk to you. You know, she was suspicious. She knew something was wrong. She said as she was about to turn, one other villager that was sitting like an older aunt said, your dad is upstairs. So she insisted that she wanted to go upstairs to her dad's room to go see her dad. These people were blocking her way. They said, no, your father is not here. Why are you disturbing us? All of those things. She kept insisting that she wanted to see her father. So they went upstairs, and what this girl found was crazy. She saw her dad on the floor, like on the bare floor. He was almost looking like a skeleton. His beards were overgrown, like somebody who had not been taken care of. He looked dry. She could actually see his bones, like on the bare floor. This man could hardly talk. He couldn't move. He was just there, like in dirt, looking almost lifeless. She screamed, what happened to my father? You know, blah, 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 blah. They sent her house. What are you doing here? Kiniko, kiniko. She left the house and went to the police station. She reported to the police. When the police decided to go to the house with her, they arrested her aunt. You know, it's a long story. I'm trying to summarize it. After they arrested the aunt said that, hey, okay, I'm going to bring the medical report. We take him to the doctor. The doctor treated him, and they said we should take him home. We've tried our best. No, I need the doctor's report. Like, go and bring the doctor's report. She gave them the name of the hospital. Then she said she would go home to go and bring the doctor's report. This auntie went to the house and refused to come back. So Ifunaya decided to go to the hospital to go find out what exactly is happening to her father. The doctor said no. They brought him one time. He had like a partial stroke, and they were supposed to bring him back. But it's been over almost a year, and no, but we've not heard anything. They did not bring him back yet. So we don't know what happened. So this lady decided that she wanted to go rescue her father. Can you believe what happened next? So after she was trying to get back into the house, she realized that they had blocked all access. They wouldn't let her in. So she went to like the owner who, I don't know what she called it, like the leader of the village, to go tell him what was happening. And he said, okay, fine, buy drinks for the youth in the village so that they can have like a little security guard in front of the house. So all of them can stay in front of the house. So they won't let anybody move your father outside the house till the police come. So they will help you, find a way to take your father to the hospital. So these youths stayed in front of the house. They were drinking, like safeguarding that house and everything. Would you believe that these aunties went to bring military personnel who were waving their GUN pow pow at these youths to chase them away? They chased them away. Then somebody said that after that, they saw like a truck in front of the house, and somebody dragged the uncle the father out of the house into that car, and then the car went away. This lady heard about that, and then she was crying, asking, trying to call her uncle and her aunts to find out where they took her father, but they weren't responding. She said while all of this was going on, she was praying fervently. The Holy Spirit was whispering to her and telling her how deep this whole story is. Then she wanted to find a way to get her father, so she would at least take her father back abroad for proper treatment. But these people were not picking up their calls. She involved everybody that needed to know. And while all of this was happening, she was also involving her families abroad. Everybody was in prayers and everything. So she had to go involve the American embassy at a point. That is, her father is a citizen of the United States, so they had to be informed. So yeah, after all of this was going on, then the youth called her one day and said, they brought your father back. That was after like 3 days. They brought your father back into the house. Then she wanted to go get him, but she said that something in her told her that no, wherever they must have taken your father to, they went to do something terrible to him. If you go like this, anything can happen to you. Don't just go, just calm down, just stay and be praying. She said she was praying. Then when it was time, the Holy Spirit kept whispering to her to take it easy, not be in a rush, like be patient, that these people don't want your father to remind you. They have like a mission that anytime you and your father see face to face, he would deny you. And if you insist that you want to take him abroad, he will say he doesn't want to go. And he has to give his consent before they can take him abroad. So this lady, let me quickly summarize it because I want to say all of this in 10 minutes. So this lady said that after the Holy Spirit told her to go back into the house, she got the police, like she got the villagers, everybody was involved, and the youths were already hungry with how they chased them out of that house the first time. They were already hungry and ready to do anything to this auntie and uncle. They finally got to that house. And this auntie was insisting that she was not going to open the door, that she wouldn't let them in. Like, it was crazy. They had to like go get hammer. Somebody had to break the gate to enter into the house. They got into that house, and she said it was a bit of struggle. If you see how that auntie was arguing with, I don't know if I can attach all of these things to this video. If you see the way that auntie was arguing and screaming that they weren't going to go into the house, they cannot bring the man outside, blah 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 blah. It was really 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 a tug of war. Like, they were really dragging with them. They didn't want anybody to take that man. So eventually, this lady had to beg one of the youths to go and bring a ladder. They used the ladder to climb upstairs so they could enter the room to go and bring the father through. It was crazy. This woman did not release the key. She did not let anybody access into the house. It was really bad. If you see how she was dragging with them, like, I've never seen such a thing. When they eventually had access to that room where the father was, and they brought that man out, if you see how skinny he was, if you see how skinny and weak he was, the most emotional part of it was when she said, "Daddy," and the man said, "Yes." "Do you love me?" And the man said, "Yes, I love you." "Do you want to go back to America?" And the man said, "I want to go back to America." The same daddy that said he wanted to retire to Nigeria to go relax is finally back here. Omo, I shock. The whole story is so emotional. It's so long. I think it's like part 9 or part 10, but I had to like summarize it for you guys. But if you want to listen to it, I'm going to tag the handle. Her name is Ifunaya, 6 foot Amazon. That's a handle. You can go watch the whole thing. It's long and so emotional. So get your tissues ready.
This thing have been repeating itself in the cycle of life. It keep on happening over and over again, and people are making the same mistake over and over again. Is it wrong for you to retire back home after you have worked all your life in America or in the Western world? No, it's not wrong. The only error that these people keep on making is drawing their family people closer.
In everything that happens to you or happen to somebody, there is a lesson to learn from the whole experience. This guy's story of how she went back home from US to go and rescue his father. Lesson number 1 is this: when you have a family, make sure you are in peace with them. Don't say, "Ah, nah, girl, this one no be woman." If a woman want to work, if a girl want to get result, want to work, she can go to any lengths. And their own love, no the fake. You see how the daughter, small girl, left US. And make sure you train the girl and show your children, not only whether girl or boy, make sure your children know your home. Because had it been that this girl don't know their home back there, that man, Google, she have to go back. Another thing, don't say, "Oh, it's a girl." Treat your children equally. And do you see the power of America? Now make people they say, "I need the Ekpali." He get power. So now they step in, resuscitate them, take him back to US. So this girl, Ifunaya, respects. You try. You are a true daughter of your father. So the lesson is just some of these things that I just mentioned. Train your children, let them understand where you come from. Don't be overall city boy. Another thing, once you don't stay abroad, stay. Sometimes your people know they see you like that again. Not all of them, oh, don't get me wrong. You get some, they see you one kind because you are just in between them, their success and their failure. Maybe if you just come out small, themselves you turn to dogu. Some of them that are not good like that, they can do anything because of money. But this guy's story is something else. It's something else. No time.
People are speculating that maybe the family are bad. They really just hate this man. Some are saying no, maybe they don't just hate the man. Maybe the man was so greedy. So nobody knows the inner art of the whole story. As a social media person, I've heard a lot of story how somebody worked good 15 years in the Western world, just returned back home to see some of investment that they have invested all his life savings on only for them to come back, nothing, their family buy them. I've seen videos of a lady after working for good 17 years only for her to come back 3 days later. They spoofing. I've seen a lot of news about people from American after all their life that they came the very day the man came in the hotel. They kidnapped the man and they kpai the man. I've seen a video of somebody coming back from America for how many years. The first time they came, they died in the car. And there are some that retire back home. They are living happily thereafter with their family. But all of this that happened to Ifunanya would have not happened if there was a male child that came all the way from America to see his father. But I don't think all this drama would have happened because they know it will constitute a lot of nuisance. Because she was a prayerful girl, a decent girl, and an easygoing girl. That was how these people were trying. They did all their manipulation. This is a video from the scene they were talking about when they were calling her, oh, Ashawo, calling her all kinds of names. But it pains me if I have to put it here. YouTube will not allow me to monetize this particular video. We just call it because of the dramatic part of it. They will just says it. But in this particular place, she was recording, screaming, "Daddy, daddy, daddy!" Like she wants to come in. The uncles and the auntie are at the gates calling her, "Oh, Ashawo, go back, Ashawo," all kinds of things like that. But it's painful. And this is the picture of the uncle. The whole thing seems to be like the full family. The family seems to just gang up to take the life of this man, but they want him alive so that they keep on taking that $5,000. The only thing now is that this family is still in the house. How is she going to evict them from that house? I just pray that the man have the document to that house. If he has it, please, for me, I will say sell the house, sell it, live your life in America, buy there, and that's it. If you can't sell it, because there's no how you're going to leave that house, and if Funanya will come to inherit that house, it's not going to be possible. She already have a taste of the kind of family she's from, so there's no how she will want to go back to that kind of family. So, and if it's the guy now, the guy knows how to wipe those people out of the way. Like any one of them, just put a bunting on their head. Anybody that can do this for me, just like 5 million for all of them. So I believe they will not. I don't know. I'm not trying to incite violence, but I believe that's a better thing to do, allegedly. Anyway, I love you guys. I'm waiting for you guys in the comment section. What do you think about this whole story? What do you think about the way she handled the whole situation? Being prayerful, be patient, listening to the Holy Spirit. And what do you think that she should do thereafter? Because now that she's in America with her father and her father is receiving treatment, we will try and, if people are really interested in this news, we'll follow it up. So many stories about this. I listened to a story, a real life story of a man. People are heartless anyway. I listened to a real life story of a man who based in America, always coming back home to, to enjoy his life and go back. One day, according to this man sister, he came across this particular lady who seems to be suffering, like selling all this ugogoro along the road with her boile. So the man felt like, oh, you are working here, and every time I come from America, you are always here with your children. Okay, I have a place just like this full Ifunanya house now. Like I have a big place. I felt like, okay, you should be managing there, be living there with your children. I'll be helping you to take care of these children. So you stop this job. Let's look for something better to do for you. Just being generous. This man helped this woman, and everything was seems to be perfect. This man were going forth and coming back from America. Unfortunately, something happened, so they started dating. Just a month and 6 months from there, the only thing we heard that this man died. How did he die? He died in a room. According to the news that cover it, there were red candles and native pots, something that had to do with ritual. So the woman screamed. I called the police. They came to do the forensic investigation. Everybody just concluded that the man died at the excess of doing ritual. That was the case. But unfortunately, just 15 days after his death, the man have not yet been buried. The woman took the man's car and gave to a prophet. So our sister found out that a prophet, the church she is going, is now driving one of his late brother's car. Now, the woman raised alarm and called the police, paid like they should do a forensic investigation. Thank God the investigation was so easy. They arrested the prophet on a base like the woman have already confessed. They just arrested the prophet and said, the woman said, now you talk, say, mo buy the man. So why would you have to buy this man? The woman don't confess. Now you will pay there for it according to the police. They said the man just open mouth. Wow. In order to defend himself. No, now the woman buy him. Waiting you just do now to come up and pull those things for that. She say na ritual. And now the woman buy her so that we will collect everything so that she will dey live for the house. All this kind of thing. That was it. That was how the prophet confessed, and they now picked the woman. Both of them, they they were arrested, but I didn't follow the case how they sentenced them. I don't know, but they arrest them. They were confessing, confessing to the police when all these things. When I get the whole gist, and the sister also narrated her own part of the whole story, how she found out that this woman is a devil. So some people you just pick them from the dust. Despite everything you do for them, they are still evil. These aunties and uncles now, if the man didn't invite them to his own house, I don't think they will have access to do all this kind of atrocity. It's because he brought them in. That was how they were able to target and cramp him down. So it pains me anyway, but that is it's just a piece of numerous story that is out there on how they treat people that comes from the Western world. Sometimes I don't really know why that once you travel to the Western world, you spend more than 5 to 10 years. Once you return, the family don't no longer welcome you as part of them. I don't know why it's like that. When you come to visit and go back, they like it. But when you come to settle down and said, I've worked so hard, I've made the money, I'm here to stay now, the whole family felt like you're not part of them. You're not supposed to come back and stay. So they want you to be there so that you can be sending money, something like that. Say you are coming, you will not feel bond like as usual before. I don't know. It happened 99% of the full family in Africa or in Nigeria, and like for what I have experienced, they love you to be coming and going. But say you are coming to stay, the family felt like you're no longer part of us. You are not supposed to come back and stay. Except maybe you just move in with your wife and children, you just relocate all you. But say you just come back alone, you want to come and establish and stay, then you will not feel welcome. You're no longer part of them. So they believe once you leave, don't come back. Just be there and be sending money. That is their own concern. But if you come back, it becomes a bigger problem, and they felt you are not welcome. So whenever you are planning to relocate back to Nigeria, please put things in place. Know social distancing, know the kind of people you allow into your life, and know the kind of people you also share some certain information with, like the kind of money and how much you make. I believe the one in America must have supplied those in Nigeria all this information that the man have money, do you know how much they give him, or the gratuity and the pension, must have shown to them. So that's why they all plan it on how to finish him. So we thank God that the man is still alive, and let's just see how this whole story goes. I love you guys. Until we meet again. Peace out.
So while I was in Anambra, I was staying with my mom's people. My mom's family rallied behind me and gave me so much love and support. When I finally was cross-examined by their lawyers, the judge now said I had fulfilled my obligation and that I no longer had to come to Nigeria, to Anambra for the court cases, that my lawyer can now take over on my behalf. And so I felt like I had done everything humanly possible to see that I followed my God, the God of justice, in making sure that I gave my evidence, my testimony, and did everything I needed to do to ensure that the court matter was being handled in the proper and legal ways. Leaving Anambra after a successful court appearance, I killed cross-examination. I'm so proud and so happy to be through this process. I've really come a long way, but I give God the ultimate glory. Don't do evil, it doesn't pay. I just want to note that because nobody died, thank God, Josephine and Francis were eligible for bail, and the judge did grant them bail. I was a little bit upset because I did think that they should have spent time in jail throughout the court cases, but the Holy Spirit told me, Ifunaya, none of that matters. I went back to the US and just began going back to work and trying to figure out what my new normal would be now that myself and my family were now caregivers to my father. My dad was being seen by physical therapists, being seen by occupational therapists. However, he had a crippling fear that every single time he would stand up, he would fall down. And so it didn't help to speed up the process to get him back to full restoration, but we were believing in God that he would be able to walk again. Through the use of a walker, my dad is now able to be more mobile. However, he cannot walk on his own. But that doesn't matter because with life, there is hope, and we're still believing and praying to God for full restoration. While we were now adjusting to the new normal, I got a knock on the door, and it was a white man with some documents in his hand. And when I opened the documents, I now saw that Gabriel was now trying to gain guardianship over my father so that he can send him back to Nigeria. He has submitted the documents to his own lawyer here in the United States that he wants guardianship because my father is incapacitated and that he's working in the best interest of my father. When I saw those documents, I began to panic because guardianship basically means that you have full control over this person, what they do with their finances, where they live, how they spend their money. And after finishing the court cases in Anambra and to now be served with these documents that Gabriel was now trying to get guardianship over my dad, because maybe I guess he realized that his power of attorney could only take him so far, the Holy Spirit said that this court case will never see the light of day. I got a call, court-appointed lawyer that was representing my dad. He asked me a series of questions, and I said, listen, if Gabriel wants to take this matter to court, so be it. I will fight tooth and nail to make sure that this judge is given all evidence that shows that even during Gabriel's power of attorney over my father, he mishandled it. He misused my father's finances. And if Gabriel is using his own hand to cause himself damage, I'll be right there to provide all the evidence needed. 1 week later, the court-appointed lawyer for my dad said, hey, Gabriel no longer wants to proceed with, this guardianship anymore, that as long as he hears from your dad, he's asking for a 10-minute conversation with your dad just to make sure that he is okay. I said, Gabriel will never speak to my father. He will never have that right to have a 10-minute conversation with my dad. Where was that 10-minute conversation when my dad was locked up in the room? Where was that 10-minute conversation when I was asking Gabriel to make sure that my dad was okay? Where was that 10-minute conversation when he now found out how badly mistreated my dad was, and rather than coming to our aid, he only began to make more threats and be a bully to me and my family? I told the lawyer, nope. If the court case needs to continue, so be it, but I'm not going to pacify his actions with a 10-minute conversation to a man that, in my opinion, he's hurt dearly. A week later, I received a letter from Gabriel's lawyer saying that Gabriel no longer wants to proceed with the guardianship. And in my head, I said, this man, his heart, wherever it is not with God. How dare you try and get guardianship over my father? And in the court documents, he states that his intentions were to send my dad back to Nigeria.